Control. Your on-air automotive magazine with co-hosts Fred Staub and Les Jackson.
Control.
Everything you need to know about new and used cars.
Control.
Industry news. We'll fix or repair your car on the air.
Control.
Fasten your seatbelts and let us take the wheel. Now, your ride is about to begin.
Control.
Because you're on Cruise Control. Cruise Control. Cruise Control.
And hello, welcome everyone to Cruise Control. This is your on-air automotive magazine. It is time to buckle up and join us on our ride through the auto industry, our regular ride. Of course, you know me, I'm Les Jackson. That guy is Fred Staub.
Hello.
And between the two of us, we have a whole lot of information, and starting with some good news.
Yes, you predicted this, Les Jackson, and
I did.
I have to say, I think we were both right on predictions. My prediction, hybrids and plug-in hybrids will come back and be the main thing people want to buy. And you correctly said sedans will make a comeback, and it's happening. Several manufacturers are increasing the output of sedans, and they say this is the future. They're affordable, and they're good.
Absolutely. And you can get into them without having to climb. And anyway.
Use a step stool. Yeah.
That's right. It's, welcome to the modern world. And a glimpse into the future. We're going to take a look at the Chrysler Halcyon concept vehicle. Kind of cool.
Yeah, that is a very cool look into the future. We'll tell you about that. And also, we're going to talk about the Aston Martin Vantage, which is a beautiful, beautiful machine. We will have some great information on that. Aston Martin always stood out to me, and I think this new Vantage will as well. Now with V8 power. Les,
yep.
Which, they're downsizing from the V12, right?
That's right. They're beautiful. Oh, it's always been my favorite luxury car. And AAA says it's wise not to completely trust your automated rear brake system. We have some really interesting video to show.
Yeah, interesting video. Rear braking, of course, rear cross-traffic braking. There's a grocery store that I go to that this exact scenario can happen.
Every single week when I go to the grocery store.
It's so bad I have to have my wife stand out behind the vehicle to look at is there any oncoming traffic. I'm going to get her a safety vest and those lights, that they use at the airport.
That's right.
Because you can't see, and it's a long, almost, half-mile long run, and people think it's like, oh, it must be a drag strip,
Absolutely.
And
I usually put my groceries in the back seat, then I close the door, then I look out both directions looking for people and vehicles, and then I run to the driver's seat and turn it on and back up as quickly as I can. Just because it's just I have an attitude about SUVs. Sorry.
We'll be right back.
Cruise Control.
Welcome back to Cruise Control, your on-air automotive magazine. Fred Staub, Les Jackson. Les, you should take this story because you brought this up a long time ago.
Absolutely.
You said it's inevitable, and I agree with you because life is like a big circle. Not to talk like a Disney show, but really what's popular and normal goes away and then comes back, and it's something premium.
Absolutely, because people have discovered over the past decade or so that SUVs most of the time are a bit more than what they really need. They're expensive to own, expensive to drive, and sadly, SUVs, and this statistic just came out from the EPA at the beginning of the year, as they have been dominating the market, 78% of vehicles sold are SUVs. They have erased all of the pollution gains since the 1970s.
Wow.
That's just sad. Well, anyway.
But the good news is?
The good news is cars, sedans, cars are coming back. People are realizing, I want something more affordable. I want something easier to get in, something that probably rides a little bit smoother.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to drive them. I had several
right.
of them, and I thought, well, hey, this is fine.
Yeah, they get much better mileage.
Mm-hmm.
This finally, they listened to what I was saying. that these are great.
Yeah, and Hyundai has decided to increase production of the Elantra and Sonata sedans, and they want to get double-digit growth, according to Jose Munoz, who is the head of North America CEO. Entry-level and more affordable models hold the key to achieving sales of 900,000 units. And he said, while crossovers and SUVs contributed significantly to Hyundai's bottom line, the Elantra was the second best-selling model, 134,149 of them.
Which is terrific. The Sonata itself is an excellent car.
Yeah. Available as a hybrid or I believe a plug-in hybrid too. And dealer education is needed. Maybe not in the case of Hyundai, but other brands, people come in. I think we were talking during the break, and the dealer, in some cases, is not selling to you. They're thinking of, well, when I get this car back in 3 years, I don't want a car that I can't sell. And they are turning people away from sedans. Dealers do this all the time. And they're selling people things that they don't need. I too, I agree with you. I feel certain people that drive SUVs can't handle them. They're just too big, too high.
Absolutely right. Absolutely right. My wife Mary was just saying that this morning. We were looking out the window and marveling on how everybody in our little area with an SUV doesn't know how to park.
They don't know how to park.
They have backup cameras. They have park assist. They just don't know how to drive these things.
I think they're just too big for certain people. I think they really are. They're way high. I know we drive a lot of things. It was funny. One of my friends says, well, Fred's a professional driver. I don't know what that is. It means I drove a lot of cars. I don't like how some of the large SUVs, the hood goes out and it just falls off. And it's like I'm driving a tractor trailer. I can't see.
Yeah, and that's a danger. Not for you, but for people in front of you, and especially pedestrians. Just got one yesterday afternoon, just a few blocks from here. A pedestrian was hit by a Range Rover.
Yeah, big flat front end.
They couldn't see him.
Yeah.
Wasn't killed.
Well, that's good. But don't get me wrong. Certain people need a 3-row SUV, body on frame to tow or whatever. But a lot of people, you don't. It's a pleasure I've done this where I have to go somewhere and park in a tight lot or whatever. There's one parking garage near me that they made it too tight. I don't think there's enough swing
Yep.
room. I bring my little Vibe instead of a gigantic SUV press car because it's easier to steer around.
Exactly. And older shopping centers, older apartment complexes, the parking spots are too narrow.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, so, okay,
But
follow me, everyone, and park those SUVs.
well, also we should mention Honda. It says there's growing interest in the Civic, and Nissan is increasing their Kicks, which is a crossover, Versa and Sentra. So here we go.
Yeah.
Sedan's coming back, and will be coming back after the break. Cruise Control.
Cruise Control.
And welcome back to Cruise Control. We're still in the Aston Martin. Fred, I'm not leaving. Just,
yeah, I don't want
love
to.
Aston Martins. Every one I've ever driven, I just dearly loved.
Wow.
Great performance, great handling. Not the best in the world, but great. But just the ride is super. They're quiet inside. They're just really elegant.
Yeah, they are, and they trade.
Not flashy.
Yeah, the new generation Vantage traces its history back to the 1950s, and the Vantage name was first used to denote an uprated engine package for the race-proven DB2. And the first time the Vantage was applied as a model designation was in 1964 with a high-performance Vantage badge version of the DB5. And a standalone Vantage model was introduced in the early 70s. So it is reflects the most dynamic part of Aston Martin's 111-year history. So, 4-liter twin-turbo engine, 655 horsepower, 590 foot-pounds of torque, 202 on the mile per hour, and 0 to 60 in 3.4 seconds. It was released alongside the Vantage GT3 Challenger, and it has an all-new interior architecture, here it comes, and bespoke state-of-the-art infotainment system.
I'll cut you slack on this one.
Yeah. It has a launch control, a new launch control system, electronic stability control, and the launch control allows the car to deploy as much torque as conditions allow using the E-diff slip control. And it liberates additional engine performance. Liberate it.
Can you go max speed on the Autobahn? Or is it limited there? They're even there.
I don't know. I mean,
you can't go anywhere in the U.S.
There's still sections of the Autobahn that you can go unlimited. 21-inch forged alloy wheels. Important, by the way. Forged wheels, that's the way to go. So you don't destroy them.
They don't break.
Carbon ceramic brakes. It's got all the good stuff here. Wow. And as it says, exterior styling, a muscular physique and unmistakable presence. Often what I think of when I talk about Les Jackson.
Absolutely. And again, the price is base price is $143,000, and you
grab
can't buy
one.
Right. You can't buy any of the other world type supercars for that kind of money.
Let me ask you this. Why don't I see more of them then? Because people buy high-end AMGs, they buy other high-end vehicles. Yeah. Why don't you see more Aston Martins around in the U.S.? You see very few. But when you do see them, you notice them.
You do. I usually, around here in D.C., you have a lot of extremely wealthy people. Not me, but, and I see one or two a year.
Yeah.
So that's about it.
The last one I saw was in this small village in the Cotswolds. And even then, we were walking down the street, and I said, this thing, like, it shows off like a boss. It's just sitting there, and it's got attitude. Yep. And the guy, I think, had pulled up to a hotel or something and just parked it there and got out. And I was like, wow, from across the street, that car has attitude, Yeah. I just don't know why more. I think if I had this kind of money, this is the car I would buy.
I would too. I've always said that that's what I would buy if I had vast amounts of money.
Yeah. I'll tell you, as a close runner-up for less money, very similar in style is the Jaguar F-Type.
Yeah.
So that would be if I had money, but not as much money. But beautiful car. Great job to Aston Martin, and I tell you what, great job. And yes, that would be the one I would buy for sure. I just think it's pretty cool. Well, let's move on to something completely couldn't be more different than what we were just talking about. You and I talk about the benefits of rear cross traffic braking. And if people are not familiar with it, it is you're in a parking lot, there's a van next to you, there's a large SUV, a pickup truck, whatever. You're in a valley and you can't see. And you go to back out. And as I was saying earlier, there's a grocery store that has like a half-mile long parking lot, and it's like a drag strip. People come out, or they're walking, they're out of it. You can't see backing up. You come out slowly, you blow your horn, doesn't matter. You got to inch out because it's like having a wall. It's like you're in a garage and you're trying to back out of it.
Yeah. It's very, it's very annoying. I guess that's one word.
Yeah. Now, cross traffic alert, backup alert, that is the system that will alert you and even hit the brakes if a vehicle is coming. But AAA has talked about this a little bit, and they've done some testing with a car that apparently is filled with air and breaks in two of these systems. And they found, it's a recent AAA research, that emergency braking isn't foolproof. And they tested them, simulated collisions across 4 popular 2023 model year vehicles equipped with reverse automatic emergency braking, or AEB as it's sometimes called. And they found that they applied the brakes in 65% of the test runs and prevented a collision in 2.5% of the test runs in the context of backup scenarios involving a subject vehicle crossing behind the test vehicle, while the stationary child target behind the test vehicle automatically applied the brakes 75% of the times. So they have some tips. They say you should not solely rely on these advanced driving systems. Well, right. I mean, would somebody actually just throw it in reverse and stomp on the pedal and say, my car will stop?
Some people would.
I do like the car that inflate. It looks like either a Honda or a Prius that's inflatable.
Well, but it's heavy enough, you notice, that it actually displaces the car that's backing up.
Yes. So it's pretty interesting, though.
But the big problem with us, with cars, and also people with, smaller SUVs, that you have to back out very, very slowly.
Yeah.
Until you can see something.
Yeah.
And then continue slowly, especially at grocery stores and drugstores and just general parking lots. It's just really annoying.
It is annoying, and maybe they have to change the way parking lots are laid out. Maybe it's parking on an angle, make the spots on I don't know. Also, people have trouble just parking, but.
Well, yeah, that's.
But yes, these systems are great and they will help you, but they're not designed for, I just don't have to pay attention anymore.
Right. It's not driving itself. You have to really look, and if you're looking carefully, the rear cross traffic alert system, you can kind of see down the parking lot area a certain distance, but you need to be looking.
Well, the problem is too, it depends. I've pulled into spots where I can pull out or I can see better, but you come back and you're parked between two trucks, and all that visibility goes
Absolutely.
away. And it's, well, once again, it's gigantic vehicles, but sometimes it's a van. I remember it was hard to back out with a van. I had a van for a while, full size van, and it was hard to, you know, watch where you're going. The good thing with a van is if you pulled out, your nose wasn't that long, so you could, you could see that if you pulled out. But if you had a back
Right.
out, it's like they say in tractor trailer driving, it's blindsiding. You're just backing in
Yeah.
and not looking. So, hey, when we come back, we're going to have an at the wheel review of the Chevy Trailblazer. So stay tuned to Cruise Control, your on air automotive magazine. We'll be right back.
Cruise Control.
And welcome back to Cruise Control, your on-air automotive magazine. It's that time again, Les. Time for an At the Wheel. And people like affordable vehicles. This one's a little bit more affordable. This is the Chevy Trailblazer, 2024 Trailblazer all-wheel drive RS. Nicely equipped model. I think it gets a lot of style on the inside and a bit on the exterior, believe it or not, from the Camaro. It's got some RS styling on the inside and outside. Small, all-wheel drive crossover, 3-cylinder engine. It is built in South Korea and sold under this Chevy brand. It's a bit international in flavor. The transmission comes from the engine comes from Korea. The transmission comes from Mexico. Major content is 53% Korean and 19% Chinese. RS package gives you that blacked out lettering on the outside, a little bit more aggressive grille on the inside. You get RS badging on the head restraints, some nice red stitching and red piping on the seats, black leather seats. And then you get a flat bottom wheel, a little bit of piano black thrown in, a lot of texture in this vehicle, a little texture in the dash, which is nice to see, some red trims. They have gone to a digital dash. I don't really like any of the displays in that, but they've gone away from the analog gauges. And they have a nice screen in the center with wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, at least for now, because GM is going away from that. Good mileage, 31.3 mpg on this vehicle. That's not bad for an all-wheel drive vehicle.
No.
Wireless charging, some ability to turn on and turn off the all-wheel drive with a LED. Out back, pretty good leg room, pretty good headroom. It's basically a flat roof to this vehicle, so you don't lose any of the headroom. A lot of black plastic, a lot of black leather, so you get an inverter out back for 110 and some connection for USBs. Seats full, relatively flat, which is a good thing, so good load floor. Overall, interior not bad. A little part spinning, some older controls in there mixed with some different controls, and as I said, they got that digital dash now, which I'm just not a fan of. I did like the diffuser in the back, had some texture to it. Looks better than just smooth black plastic. On the inside, decent amount of storage with a light out back. No 12-volt connection, but decent storage. And it also has some storage underneath with a temporary spare, which I like. I always remember to check this ahead of time. Under the hood, we've got a 3-cylinder engine, 137 horsepower, and it's a turbo. Look at that. We've got a turbo indicator on top of the engine. That is the uprated engine, actually, 155 horsepower. Standard is a 1.2-liter turbo with 137. Ours was the RS with the 1.3 turbo, 155 horsepower. In the front-wheel drive, you get a CVT transmission. In the all-wheel drive, like we had, you get a 9-speed automatic. So 33 front-wheel drive on the highway, 29 in the city. For the all-wheel drive, you get 29 all-wheel drive on the highway and 26 all-wheel drive in the city. We bettered that with about 31. Do like the two-tone paint. Are you a fan of the blue color, Les?
I do like that color. I think it's a very soothing color.
Fountain blue. It could be called Easter egg blue. I've heard people call it Easter egg, but fountain blue is the name of it. Jet black with red accents on the inside. Overall vehicle score for 5-star. It gets 5-star ratings. Does very well in the ratings. So that is a good thing if you're thinking of buying this. I'm not a fan of the digital dash just because of the way it looks like a very small screen in front of the driver. And I just don't like the designs they've done with the gauges. I just think it's a little bit dark and just, I don't know, they don't look different enough. They could have done a lot more. Maybe they will in the future. Maybe that's an update that can be sent over the air. Who knows? Ours had a standard price of $28,700, and then we added a bunch of things: the sunroof, the power dual pane panoramic sunroof, convenience package, which gives you power liftgate, air conditioning, single zone, only single zone in the air conditioning, USB charge ports in the back, rear view mirror auto dimming, power outlet 120 volts, wireless charging, visor and driver passenger illuminated vanity mirrors. This is all part of that $1,195 package. Adaptive cruise and sound package came out to $995, and that included a Bose Premium 7-speaker system and adaptive cruise control. Winter summer floor mat package, all weather floor liners, $395. Driver confidence package, rear cross traffic alert, which we just talked about, rear park assist and lane change alert. So total options, $5,070. Total vehicle and options was $33,770. Destination $1,295. Total vehicle price $35,065. It's up there, and remember, you are getting a 3-cylinder for this. People compare it to the Crosstrek and that. I'd probably rather have the Crosstrek. It's got a little bit more all-wheel drive cred. I think this would be a better vehicle, sub 30. You can do that. But the price has gone up pretty significantly. I do like the style. I do like the two-tone. The performance was okay. I don't like what they've done with the gauge cluster again. I think they just could do better with the graphics. It just looks too plain to me. You know, they could do better with this, and I hope they do. And there should be a bigger display for the driver, because there's just black space on either side of that. And the displays just, I don't know, they just look too plain to me. As I said, I like the Android Auto, wireless Android Auto, and Apple CarPlay. Unfortunately, eventually that will go away at General Motors as they've made the shift to something else, but we don't know what it is. It could be Google built in. It's a little high price for what it is. I think there's probably a high profit margin on this vehicle. Overall, the vehicle is pretty decent, but I just don't think the digital gauges were a positive development. I look back at one of these I reviewed several years ago, and I thought, oh, that had a nice analog backlit gauges, and it looked more expensive. To me, this looks less expensive than the older ones. So there you have it, the 2024 Trailblazer all-wheel drive RS. $35,000 for a 3-cylinder car. I don't know. It might be a little bit much. What do you think?
I think it's just a little high. Because I have a little fear that the 3-cylinder engines aren't going to have a long life, but I could be wrong.
Yeah.
But it'd be nice if it was like 30.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I agree. It does have it gets great safety ratings. It does have all of the, driver assistance. It's the RS styling too. That's something that's going across the GM lineup. Of course, is the last vestige of the Camaro. Camaro is no longer being made. So, hey, there you go. I do like that styling. Hey, it's time for me to say I'm Fred Staub.
I'm Les Jackson.
We're going to see you down the road.
Bye.